the same link?
Yeah, mic check, mic check. Everything's good. Now, now they can hear me. Different link. Here, let me give it to you. Um, let me
Is it on the same link?
Yeah, mic check, mic check. Everything's good. Now, now they can hear me. Different link. Here, let me give. All right, great. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Good. Let me know if it's on and popping. It looks like people are coming back on now. You guys have to excuse me. In the meantime, I'm gonna get some of this. All right. Live Baroni. Which is not optimized. Video resolution. All right. Let me know if you guys. All right. I see some of you guys have come back. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes so I can get more of you in here. Salsa and chips is good for your soul. At least that's what I tell myself anyway. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So, but we haven't finished talking about the last one. We were never able to give you the feedback that we. Oh, I think we lost quite a few people. Quite a few people. Okay, there's a question, Aiden here. Come here, answer this. How do you and Aiden began your day as artists slash creators? Ooh, that's a good question.
How do you begin your day? If the day ever ends, um, my personal thing is before I do anything, before I get into any creativity, I need to be in the gym first and foremost. Like before I do anything in
Wow.
the day. So that clears my mind. That puts me in the space where, um, yeah, it's just I need me time every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something about breaking a sweat and pushing weights, where the rest of the day just seems like a breeze. No matter what happens after that, it's like it's not tough on your mental or anything like that. And also physical energy. Um, but then again, I'm even though I'm in music and I DJ and produce, like I don't even drink or smoke. So I know that's completely counterintuitive, but
Bro, that's
you know
crazy.
that's just my approach to it. Because I've done it. I used to smoke, I used to drink, all this other shit, and then eventually you get to a point where none of those things enhance or you know your creativity. It all comes down to your own mental game.
I I also gave up the crack and gave up the crack pipe, gave up
Yeah.
all the other stuff that I was doing that was just horrendous. Just kidding. I haven't given it up. Just kidding. I don't do any of that. But no, I start my day before I get into my daily routine. I start my day with laughter every single day. I start my day laughing. So I watch videos. When I wake up, I have some time just close my eyes, visualizing the day, kind of like meditating, as to what I want to accomplish, how I want to see it, how I perceive it happening. And then I only focus on the outcome that I want, not the problems, not the what happened yesterday, none of that stuff. Only the 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 outcome that I want, and I only think about positive things. And then what I do next is that I watch a few things that are funny. I like laughter in the morning. I start my day laughing. It's a good day, So I laugh. I have a good time. I share some videos maybe with some people, or pictures or something to make me laugh. And then the rest of the day happens. So, real quick. Um, real quick, I think that one of the things that we want to talk about is the last record that we heard. Um, I don't know if you guys um, got to see that. We actually listened to it. It was by Bruce, and so this was the record. Just so you remember. 'Cause I was too blind to see what was in front of me. But now the storm is coming. Right. Now the storm is here. And it's drowning me with the. Okay, so real quick. So what we felt from the very beginning is like if you listen to the record from the very beginning, it catches you. Bruce has a great voice, uh, very very controlled. Really knows how to use his falsettos. Point is, great voice. I'm not gonna get into the breakdown, a technical breakdown of the voice, but it is a great voice. And I was surprised at the very beginning, meaning the production was okay. I was like, okay, 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 but then It left me like it didn't come, it didn't drop, it didn't get to that point where where
Climax.
yeah, the climax, so that was the thing about it, that the potential was all there. And like Aiden, you said that what his voice was so much, it was great, but you weren't too crazy about the production. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, um, and also it's playing safe a little bit, which not a bad thing, but I feel like you can do so much more with um, or at least experiment and like even like even if you don't think it sounds right or whatever to you, just don't be afraid to experiment. I feel that that's something that like I can hear you like in a room with Usher, and collaborating on something.
Yeah,
You know,
no problem.
like yeah, because it just but um, say singers like Usher, they always look for um, what's the next experimentation they can do with their voice and stuff. So I'm not saying that you should be a writer for Usher, not that, but Usher is like a good like that's what it reminds me of um, when I hear your voice. But I feel like you could definitely experiment more, and um, the production selection can be better. Whether you're collaborating with a producer, push him to do more crazy stuff, or find crazier tracks.
Yeah,
But the top line overall sounds,
yeah, promising.
yeah,
Yeah, but it's crazy because I had it had that dope crazy drop, hip hop drop on there, like it would have changed my perspective as
yeah,
far as the production, right?
the beat drop, yeah.
The beat drop, right? But it never happened. So that was that. So, but overall, I think great concept and great potential. Um, certainly got your certain got your voice. You know, you worked on your voice, so I appreciate that a lot. So let's see. We're gonna listen to. We're gonna listen to um, Ghost Rider, beats by Ghost Rider, um, Bams Kelly. Okay, so that's what we're gonna listen to right now.
This is a beat.
Yeah, I think this is a beat. I think you know a thing or two about that. Let's see what this is. All right. So again, these are opinions. We're just excited that you're doing what you love. You're following your passion, and you're working to get better. This is why you're here. If you think you already know everything, then you probably shouldn't be here. But you're here because you want to collaborate potentially with people. You want to meet new people. You want to learn, get better, and so this is what we're here for, to keep it 100 with you. Um, so yeah, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. He's an ambassador, somebody says. Oh, Kiana says he's an ambassador. Okay, dope. I love ambassadors for Mekon.
And I'm all in. No looking back. Forward ever, backward never. All in, I'm never said I'm all in the eight. All in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. All in, I'm all in, I'm all in the eight. All in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. You think it, I want it, I go get it. Walk like you talk, and there's no limits. This is smart thinking, it's so hard living, yeah. All in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. Think it, I want it, I go get it. Walk like you talk, and there's no limits. This is smart thinking, it's so hard living, yeah. I see you shining, young brother, go get it. Go girl, go get it, go get it. I'm realizing that nobody else is in our way, and through the dark times it'll be a brighter day. Taking charge, taking charge, taking risks. My vision's clear, shoot your shot and never miss. A lot of thoughts and questions got me searching for a meaning. Life traders lessons, they come in the form of dreaming. All in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. Think it, I want it, I go get it. Walk like you talk and there's no limits. Hey, this is smart thinking, makes it hard living. Yeah, all in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. Hey, think it, I want it, I go get it. Hey, walk like you talk and there's no limits. Hey, this is smart thinking, makes it hard living. This is true. Everything that you want is in front of you. But how bad do you want it? Yes, it's true. Everything that you want is in front of you. But how bad do you want it? All in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. Think it, I want it, I
All right.
get it. Walk like you talk.
It's a song I wrote and recorded, produced for an artist I work closely. Okay, so it's a demo. It's basically a demo.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he's so somebody else is the artist and you are the producer. Yay? All right, cool. All right, dope. All right, cool. So, um, it sounds, um, I want to say that I, it I like it. If it feels like as though it's missing some things, meaning like you're working on it, like you like it's missing some right some fills some
I feel like my only opinion would be like make it more melodic.
yeah.
Um,
It sounds a little what
like I want.
monotone a bit,
Yeah, I mean,
but I love the message behind it, man. Obviously, but there has to be a bigger switch between the hook and the verse. Yeah.
I think the melody. I feel like if you experiment, like I don't know, again, like you could have just given this to an artist and he came up with his own melodies. But in my opinion, if I listen to it, I want the melody right away. Like you could have hummed something to this,
Yeah.
and that's more important to me than the lyrics. Me personally, as a producer.
Yeah.
So,
And what you think of the beat when you listen to the beat at the beginning?
Yeah, and I'm all in. No looking back.
the only thing that I don't like is that little
Forward ever, backward never.
the little
All in, never said I'm
frequency
all
on
in it.
top.
All in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. All
It just
in,
sounds
I'm
like
all
it's
in, I'm all
distorting
in it.
something.
All in, I'm all in, I'm all in it. Think it, I want it, I
That's the
go
only.
get it.
Anything else?
Walk like you talk, and there's no limits.
That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, it's got a little bit of a. I mean, because the point is, with that being said, you could just use something else for ambience and create some other, uh, sound in the backdrop if you wanted to fill that in that way. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool, man. I think it's every artist is gonna do something different to it.
Yeah, I mean it's all subjective. I mean the way that I listen to it is that I feel like you can experiment with melody one and two dynamics,
Yeah.
of the record. Between the verses and the chorus.
Correct.
That's my
No, I'm
complete.
with you.
Like
I'm
not
with you.
like you don't. I'm not trying to say that's not an objective opinion. It's super subjective, but I feel like it's an interesting record. It um, definitely something that's not um, like a Me Too type of record, like where it's like you're doing somebody else has already done it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. It's definitely different and it's unique. So I feel you should experiment even more. Um, that's the thing.
Me too, not me too, as in you're molesting the beat or the artist working with it, but more like me too, like I'm doing that too.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's like I said, and that's the biggest thing is that when you find something that's unique, just punch that bag, like to the like experiment. Like that's sometimes what I will do. I'll do like 5 different versions of something.
Yeah. But you know what else I actually do a lot of times? If one artist doesn't work, try another artist. Or try that same artist collaborating with somebody else because that'll spark their creativity.
Right.
So you got to make sure and don't be afraid. I do this all the time, but I've seen you do it too, which is so dope. Like literally get in the booth, turn the mic on, and like hum or do the cadence that you believe feels good in the groove. Because that's another thing. Remember, with beats, sometimes because that's a dope because it's simple, right? So sometimes simplicity is dope, but then you want to feel the grooves, the in betweens, with some dope shit.
Like I'll give you a good example. Like I was working with Nasri, who's um uh the lead singer of Magic. Um, the song "Why You Gotta Be So Rude," if you remember that song. So that guy basically like wrote the biggest Bieber hits, and when we had a session, he would just go in for maybe 2 takes max, and he would just hum melodies, and he would just the whole time like he's like, I'm gonna find the melody that hooks, that's like I can't forget in my head, because that's the feel that I'm not gonna sit here and like try to write it, until it's like written out. It's like I'm gonna sing like these 2 takes until I find one, and then I'm gonna take it and then write to it. Um, so that's the same thing, is that when you're like melody wise,
Yeah.
I feel that's a good practice, because when once something kind of like is unforgettable and it feels right,
Mm-hmm.
you just don't overthink it. Like just run with it and see where it takes you, as opposed to like doing millions of takes and like trying to decide which one. It's like whichever one feels the most like in that moment right away, the first 30 minutes, hour, like if not, move on next.
Yes,
So
and you know what's funny? That you got to think, guys. Sometimes simplicity is everything. When it comes to songwriting, right? Um, pass me that guitar.
I don't know if it's in tune right now, but
Is it not tuned? Maybe the other one is.
maybe that one definitely is not tuned, but that one should be if it hasn't been.
So, I'm not gonna sit here and play a song or anything, but more like if you can think of, especially with hip hop, right? Literally, either 3 or 4 chords is the song, you know.
Right.
So, like anything that you do, you loop that shit, and you start fucking dropping a beat on it, done. And the point is, then you start experimenting when you have a 4 chord progression or 3 chord progression, and then what you do is that you take that and you go. There's so many samples out there that you can literally just go up and down you know, and I love that. That's how simple it is nowadays to do something dope. But you got to know that it's got to be something that sounds automatically like something you want to hear again, because that's what loops are. You're gonna loop that. It's got to be hooky. And so if you don't do that, it's just not gonna work. And like I said earlier, 30 seconds, a minute, and you should have me. And 8 bars, like you said, you should have me. And I don't know. That's just random feedback that we're giving you. And again, he said, I agree with him. This is subjective and all, but at the same time, we try to keep it real so that you can make your product better. And so we're gonna listen to another song right now. Here's right here. Put that. So let's see. This is boom, 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 and the winner is Tony Reed. My Life. All right. So we shall play that. Here we go.
You're not connected to the Wi-Fi?
it was giving me problems earlier. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, guys. Let me see. There you go. What is that sound on top of it? Huh?
Like a click sound.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, actually, I find this one really interesting because, really, the only thing that is making me, I mean, that the sound on top, the click sound, that, like, if you literally you want, I don't know why you want to have that sound so loud, but if you do want to have it in, even if you just lower it where it's just like underneath, where it's like really not that noticeable, uh but it's there, you'll still have that feeling that you want to have from it, but you don't have to have, uh meaning it doesn't have to overpower the beat, right? Because some of the other melodies are cool in the backdrop, right? But that sounds like the metronome, a little too close to a metronome that you left in there, you know. So I would lower that, and I think the rest of it is pretty cool. I think it's a groovy beat, it's chill vibes, and I think that the cowbell, yeah, that cowbell has to come down, and
It's great, definitely great.
Yeah,
music for like music libraries. Like if you want background music for, I don't know, what do you call, like documentaries or intro to, like, I don't know, to me right away that's what it speaks, except for that click sound. That click sound can be way lower.
Very, very low.
Everything else, because it's great.
Yeah.
It's great music, especially for even what we're talking right now.
I was just gonna say that.
It's great dialogue music, right?
It is.
So, because you also gotta understand, there's different levels of punchiness and dynamics that, like, normal pop, like say radio records have, versus things that they ask for in film and TV. Like, sometimes they want things so mellow,
yeah,
that nothing sticks out too much, so that they can use it under whatever,
But see, you just hit it on the nail. Nothing sticks out too much.
Right.
So that cowbell, bring it down. I promise you, bring it down to 25% of the volume that it is right now, to 20%, and you're gonna see a big difference. With what you've got going on. That's T Reed. He's the one that supplied that beat for us.
Yeah.
So big shout out to you, man. That's pretty cool. And yeah. No, I like
Either
what I'm
either
seeing.
that, either that, or just try something a little more softer of a texture of a sound. Not so like.
I would change it from a cowbell to something else, yeah,
Yeah,
as well.
that
Yeah,
definitely is not a cowbell, but
he
it's
says it's a cowbell
but that's more like a click sound you hear in Logic or
metronome.
metronome sound. A cowbell is definitely a cowbell when you hear it. Like you listen to a lowrider, that's a cowbell. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, great, great.
Dirty, dirty South. Yeah. Let's see. We'll listen to one more song. Give you guys some feedback. Let me see. I think we're getting some suggestions here. Um, let's see. Carol Lester. Let's listen to Carol Lester. This is Alternative Truth in Spotify. All right. Let's see. All right. Cool.
If you keep that white window up, it lights up your face better. In case.
That's okay. I don't need it to.
Huh?
Hold on. I don't need it to. Hold on. Let me rewind this song. I want to listen to it proper. Let me take it back. There you go. You just gotta put it. There you go. Here we go, Carol.
Our newborn despot king saw millions cheering him on a sunny White House lawn. But that's not the truth, truth. Speak truth, truth, truth. Speak truth. Mirror, mirror on the wall, said your inaugural balls are kind of small. So he banned the Parks Department from publishing photos. But the next day, a million pink pussy hat take women marched and marched to still keep persisting on. Truth, 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 truth to power. Truth, truth, speak truth to power. Texas T-Rex Tillerson pumped Arctic Russian oil through his Exxon veins. He was the first, but not the last, to benefit from his position on the money train. With Russian mobsters, startup bankers, bankrupt Kushner, Moscow towers, way too many to name. And here comes Trumpy Rotten Tail, hopping down the money trail. Stay to the truth, truth.
FYI, I want to make sure that you guys know that at some point I'm going to listen to the whole song, all of your songs. So just know that I'm going to take my time to do that so that you guys know. But just because of the time here. Um, but that being said, one of the things I love about music, or that the reason why we do it, is because it's so expressive, and music has been used as a powerful tool for 100 years now to tell our story, sort of like back in the days, the scriptures and poetries and stuff, before we got music. and then eventually, couple of hundred years ago, then the Mozarts and Beethovens of the world began to leave their legacies behind. And so the point is, I make that point because Carol, needless to say, you have a great, you have a voice, obviously, that you're expressing with your music here about someone that claims to. Not just kidding. I'm not gonna get into no political thing here. But obviously we know the times that we live in, right? The times that we live in, and the fact that you were courageous enough to write a song about things that are happening. I think that's a beautiful thing. I want you to know that I appreciate it. I want you to know that I think is great. It's a great vibe, and like we said earlier, everything is subjective, and music is supposed to be that. It's about taste. I love what you did. I think that is it's the message is clear. Um, Not everything is a pop record. Not everything is, you
No,
know,
definitely.
you know. The message is clear. I love what you're expressing in it. Obviously the production is cool. You got some great musicians in there, right? Some great,
Reminds me of a Bob Dylan type record,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah, those
which is
records.
and what I would say is like going like even it reminds me of like a Bob Dylan Led Zeppelin type of record almost. And if you're gonna be in that lane, just
No holds back. Don't
yeah,
hold
just
back.
just go like the weirder the better sometimes,
Yeah.
It's just like it's I'm not saying like just go and like whatever record tractor sounds
Psychedelic stuff.
but I feel it's such a sometimes you're used to listening to everything at such a loud level and everything and the dynamics in the record are great. um but I feel like though two things is that experimentation, like I was looking to hear a sitar at some point, for
Hmm.
example.
Yeah.
um and the second is um the mix in those type of records. The mix is like everything.
Yeah.
So give me an experience that you have when you're playing it live in front of people. That's what I want to get, you know, out of those type of records. And obviously we're listening on studio speakers and everything else, but even here, I'm still expecting, just give me a bigger experience, so to speak. I don't know how to explain it, but um, mixing and mastering.
Do me a favor. Type in the address here at the studio. Um. Yeah. No. I really like. It's refreshing when you hear something different. Let's just say that. As a producer, and songwriter myself, I like to hear shit that I haven't heard, or that I haven't done, or that I can't do, or whatever. Just because it's different. And so, needless to say, the message behind it is right on point. I think that nowadays, and that's what people like Jimi Hendrix used to do.
Ah,
Create music of the times.
you watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, right? He
This is
always goes out and finds some weirdest sounding stuff. I'm not saying like this is your goal, this should be your goal, but I'm just saying that if you listen to those type of records and you want to create those type of records, it's just that there's certain things about those records, like even like, um, what's that? I'm like so like, um, blanking out right now. What's it? Mick Jagger. What's his band? I'm like,
Aerosmith.
no, Mick Jagger. What's the band?
Mick Jagger? Oh no, I was confusing him for for this dude.
No, uh, dude, I'm so blank right now on this. It's like Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones, right? That sounds like a Rolling Stones record. Something that could. And if you listen to their experimentation, right?
Mhm.
It's like every record is like a journey. So I feel like with this, with what you have, it's such a rich content and such a big message that do it justice and like go even crazier, whether it's on production or whether it's on mixing or what So, but overall, it's definitely like he said, it's refreshing to hear something that's we don't sit here and listen to like 10 classic rock records all day.
Correct.
So
Yeah. So yeah, no. So I'm glad that you guys have submitted some music. I'm also excited that you guys have been with us for this journey, and especially through the technical difficulties. We promise next time we won't have these technical difficulties, um, and we'll make it a little bit more efficient. But let's throw out some tools and places where they can find resources that maybe they can start putting some better samples or music and stuff together. What are some stuff that you use?
mm, my go-to's, it's obviously Splice. Everybody knows about Splice. Um,
Do you guys know about Splice? That is my favorite resource.
so that's when I'm complete. That's like a song starter. Let's say if I'm just blank and I just want vibes and I'm looking for vibes. Sometimes, or most of the time, I'll find a sample that I like, but then like it kind of gives a start to a song.
Jumpstart.
Yeah,
It's a defibrillator
yeah.
to your
Yeah,
creativity.
to your dead creativity. No, but like, and then I'll take out the sample, and sometimes I'll leave like maybe quarter of the sample in there, just because it started something else. That doesn't mean that I don't want to use the sample. It's just sometimes like it just leads to something else. Um, I mean, Logic is my go-to. That's my go-to
Yeah.
thing, and
Roadblock.
yeah. Um, I make a lot of hip hop and dance music, so Nexus and Omnisphere are my go-tos. Like right away I want.
That's
to
water and sleep.
water and sleep. Yeah. Basically,
Right.
and yeah, that's and at the end of the day, like I said, you can have all these crazy tools, but like most of the time it's just, if I want to start a song, it's a guitar and vocals, piano and
That's
vocals.
it.
There's no, and if the song can stand on its own, like
That's why I said what I said earlier with the guitar riff or the keyboard, or even sometimes it's just a beatbox, or maybe somebody says the right word,
right.
and that sparks something. What is your spark? And you know what happens when there's a spark? Oh, you gotta blow on it.
Yeah.
You gotta hit them rocks. You got it right. You gotta get it ready. This is me pretending I'm starting a fire.
I mean, sometimes it can be a new plugin that you get, and then you just some new sound. You just sit in there and mess around with it, and like boom, something else comes out of it.
Or a new artist that you meet, and
Sure.
they spark something. So all of that being said, creating a better product is really about understanding dynamics, understanding, listening to things from an outsider perspective, not just from what you like, but from what you believe can work. So you have to really understand that this is what creating. The product is everything. Branding, marketing, all these other things that we talk about and that we do are phenomenally great and necessary, but without the product there is nothing else. All right, you can't be a shoe factory if you don't make shoes. So you gotta create as much as possible. So yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna take a couple of more questions and then we're gonna call it a day, and we're gonna start keeping in touch. But listen, it's very important that you guys like and subscribe, because we need to start growing this community. And then next time, every single time, I'm gonna bring other producers. Aiden and I are usually gonna be here hanging out together as well. But we want to start doing some calls, maybe special guests. Some of our big time friends can maybe call in, and I think that would be cool. But I want you guys to follow Aiden. We're gonna make sure. Can you guys can Wow put in Aiden Music at his IG? That's your IG, right? It's spelled a certain way, so that's why I want them to type it on there. Make sure that you follow him. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow Music Entrepreneur.
You guys are always like, feel free to like DM or reach out, and if you have any questions, like, I'm always open to answering.
Hashtag Mecon though. What will be the next moves for World Artists United? Well, that's actually a great question. Actually, why not give you guys a little preview? That's just how we do it. That's just how we do open hair. Alright? It's just a little. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to play like maybe a little bit. Let me see. This is going to be so ghetto because I'm literally just going to put it on the screen. Like this. Yeah. This is an exclusive look at something coming. All right. Can you guys see that? Is that okay?
Make sure that it's not. Well, whatever. Doesn't really matter, right?
What?
Like when you flip it around. Yeah, that's fine.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying it's mirrored.
No. Look, you can read it proper.
Oh, okay.
Next time I'll play it because I can actually play it from here. But it's just a little preview, and so I'm gonna play it. It's so hard to do this. Tell me if you guys can see this. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Here we go. And action.
They say that a DJ is a puppet master, a shaman. All I know is that our world, electronic music, could be a magical place.
The DJ was the nerd who got $20.
That's it. I can't play no more. It's exclusive stuff. So, yeah, amazing stuff coming. That's the intro for a teaser for a film. Can't play any more than that. Actually, that was probably too much. But no, we got documentaries coming. We got a tour this coming summer. Well, actually, here, Aiden, tell them a little bit about last summer and that craziness. The experience of going out to Europe and doing what we do.
I can't even like start. How many cities was it? Like
I don't remember, but
it was like 3 weeks of basically non-stop traveling, non-stop, like about 5 nights a week of performing. The biggest crowd that I've played to date was like 150,000 people on the beach in Italy. And before that, I played in an Insomniac Festival, and that was only 20,000. But I thought that was the biggest thing. But and at the same time, it's like that's the just the experience. It's priceless. Doesn't matter if you paid me, however much money for it or whatever. But it's the experience of like traveling with friends and doing exactly what you love doing. And
we had the time of we had too much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was like. I don't even drink or smoke, so again, but I had to come back and sit on IV drip for a week because I was just so exhausted because it's just so much and you just don't want to be sleeping and just keep on going and it's from one city, like every day is a different city and different venue, and at the same time, like not. I mean, I'm like I said, I can't. I don't know where to start or where to finish, but the experience was incredible, and most importantly is that like you learn so many things about that aspect, like the tour life, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially when things become super hectic and super challenging the last minute, and you have to just scramble and just make things happen.
Roll with the flow.
And yeah, but overall, it was just like, I mean, you can imagine the sun doesn't go down till midnight, and comes up at 5 a.m. every day. So, and you're in Belgium, Italy, uh, what was it? Iceland? What did we go to Iceland?
We just
What is it?
hopping
Iceland,
around.
right?
Hopping
What?
around.
What?
So that being said, the possibilities are always, just know that everything is doable and possible, and we're having a great time doing it. But it does take a lot of effort. It does take a lot of patience. It does take a lot of strategy, and not just what happens in here, but what happens out there. To bring it in here. So that's all. Part of the game. So remember that it is. It requires a team. It requires a team. Even though, even like let's say when he's on stage spinning, I'm spinning, meaning I'm feeling that because it took that much effort for all of us to get to that moment. You know, I don't have to write all the songs or produce all the time or be the one on stage. It feels just as good as being a team member in those moments where and those times when it's his turn. Sometimes he watches some of our other artists do other stuff. So it's a team effort, and that's what it takes. And so yeah, it's a lot of great things that are happening this year for World Artists United. We have a Super Bowl event in a couple of weeks as well. That's going to be pretty intense for us. And starting actually this coming week, we're going to be nonstop working on that. And so, if you happen to be, Winter Music Conference, that's in March. So we're working really hard to make some amazing things happen for that. And that's when you're going to be able to see that feature film that you just saw. It's going to be a premiere. So if you're a part of the Mecon community of music entrepreneur, you will be you'll have access to get an invite or buy a ticket at a decent price if you're a part of the community now. So just keep that in mind. Again, make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell all your musician friends that they need to subscribe. And we're gonna start making this a habit so that you guys can get as much value as possible from this. So with that, I am grateful for you guys. You've been with us for a couple of hours now, and even stuck with us through, which says a lot about the ones that came back, even though there were some technical difficulties. I appreciate you. And we don't take this for granted. Listen, we're doing our thing. We could just be doing our thing and not even think about doing these type of things, but we do them because we know that it is important. We feel like it's our duty to give it back, give back the information, and we want to become your strategic allies, and help you accomplish a lot more. But we hope that you want to do the same for us. So one hand washes the other, right? You guys go ahead and again subscribe, thumbs up on this video, and thank you for watching. I think it's been very insightful. I learned a lot from you, brother. I appreciate it.
Likewise, man. Thank you, guys.